Okay, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning or good evening, depending on when you eventually watch this video on YouTube. Thank you for those of you who are joining us live for this very interesting showcase where we have Virginia Commonwealth University of the Arts based in Qatar. So, one of the things we talk about is beyond mobility and thinking about getting an American education, and that can be anywhere in the world. So, we're super excited to have Teslin here. Tell us about VCU Arts in Qatar. Over to you, Teslin.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's a wonderful pleasure to be here today and present VCU Art Qatar to you guys. First of all, to give a bit of a background, VCU Art Qatar is a branch campus of the Virginia Commonwealth University that is based in Richmond, Virginia. So it's an American university. You get the same degree directly from the US. It's a branch campus here based in Qatar, and it's the oldest American university actually in Qatar. It was established in 1998. And just to be clear, it is as the name suggests, it's a university that is focused on the arts only. So it's an art and design university only, right? And I'll give a bit more details about that going forward, but then I would just say that I work as a recruitment and admissions counselor here at VCU at Qatar. And the whole point of today's, excuse me, um, the whole point of today's presentation really is to give you an overview of who we are, the programs we offer, what student life looks like, and most importantly, how to prepare a strong application and portfolio for admissions. So to start off with who we are. So VCU Arts Qatar is a university that sort of combines the strengths of a top-ranked American and art and design university with this sort of rich culture and creative traditions of Qatar. For those of you who do not know where Qatar is, it's the country that hosted the 2022 FIFA World Cup. It's just next to Saudi Arabia. It's in the Gulf region and close to Dubai as well. Our goal here is not to simply teach students technical skills, but to also help them become creative thinkers, problem solvers, and future leaders in their respective fields, right? We encourage students to experiment, we push them to ask questions, to take risks, and also, of course, create meaningful work that has an impact. So I've said this, given a bit of background about this already from the start. We, are consistently ranked among the top fine arts programs in the United States. Here in Qatar, we have a very, a close-knit community, just over 300 students in total, and they represent more than 30 nationalities. One of our biggest strengths really is our small class sizes. As you can see, student to faculty ratio is 4:1. And so what that does is that it allows students to work closely with faculty who are internationally recognized artists, designers, and scholars. All our professors and lecturers here are from diverse backgrounds, and they're all experts in their field. Now, what makes VCU Art Qatar really interesting is that, and one of the really unique advantages of studying here is that we are located in Qatar Foundation's Education City. So students are part of a much larger academic community that includes universities such as Georgetown University, that's focused on international politics and foreign affairs, Carnegie Mellon, Northwestern universities, and all that. So we are one of about 5 American universities based here. So that means that you can participate in events across Education City. You can join clubs. You can cross-register and take classes in other universities, even though you're a student here. You can attend lectures um, and also collaborate, right, with students from other universities in order to broaden your overall experience. Now, at the undergraduate level, we offer Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees in graphic design, interior design, painting and printmaking, and kinetic imaging. We also offer a Bachelor of Arts in Art History. And just to quickly, talk about what those are about. So graphic design is pretty obvious, right? Interior design is quite obvious as well. Painting and printmaking, it's largely based on how to improve your painting skills, how to be a printmaker, and so on. Kinetic imaging may feel a bit vague, but it's really our newest program, which was introduced a few years ago. And it's for those of you who are interested in AI, in things like robotics, like animation, this is really the program for you. And as you know, the world is going fully AI today, which is one of the reasons why we actually introduced this program. We also have a Bachelor of Arts degree in art history, and as the name suggests, so studying the history of art from the prehistoric period until the modern day, right? With a focus on the Islamic world. For graduate students, we offer a Master of Fine Arts in Design. So we have just one master's program, which is an MFA in design. Students can further, customize their education because we have minors, so such as Islamic art history and film and design in collaboration with Northwestern University, which is also based here in Education City. So, as an art and design university, our facilities play a huge role in the student experience. We have specialized spaces, as you can see, that support different forms of creative work, including our art and design library, which is really the largest art and design library that exists here in the region, our comics library. We have innovative media studios, materials library, and digital design and fabrication facilities as well, which means as a graphic design student, interior design student, all the tools, all the materials that you need to prefabricate and make and work on, you can do all of them in-house. You don't have to do them outside. So we have all the facilities for that. So, and these spaces give the students access to other professional tools they may need, equipment and resources that helps bring their ideas to life. Now, studying at VCU Arts Qatar isn't limited to the classroom because we know that the university experience is much more than just sitting in a classroom, listening to lectures, and then going back to your dorm, right? Students have opportunities to study abroad. So you can choose to go abroad to our home campus in Richmond, Virginia, which is in the US, to study there and also other international institutions as well. We've had students go to the UK for their study abroad, Latin America, other parts of Europe, and so on. Our students also participate in major international exhibitions, competitions, conferences, and service learning projects. So what all of these do is that these experiences help students build that sort of global perspective and professional networks that they need to navigate the outside world, right? Once they are done with their education here. Now, here you'll see the current tuition. So this has been slightly adjusted by very little, actually. But we're still yet to update our PowerPoint. But our tuition is still about $18,600 per academic semester. So you think about roughly $37,000 per academic year, right? And also the cost of housing, it ranges, right? Depending on whether you're a first year student, second year student, third and fourth, and the type of student housing that you also choose to live in, right? So I know that the cost of education is an important consideration, right? So I always try to encourage students and families to look at the various funding opportunities that are available, which we will discuss on the next slide. We're very, very happy to help connect students with the appropriate offices to explore their options. Now, VC Arts Qatar, actually this year, we just introduced scholarships, so a full $40,000 scholarship for students. It's highly competitive. It's based on your grades, your portfolio, which I'll talk about in a bit, your IELTS score, and so your transcript and so on, right? It's highly competitive, but it's a $40,000 scholarship. And if you get it once, you just have to maintain your academic standard, and it follows you through the 4 years, right? So there's that, which is our VCU Art Qatar Merit Scholarship. Apart from that, there are several other ways students can fund their education here, right? Students are eligible to apply for Qatar Foundation's need-based financial assistance programs, which is one is the financial aid loan. So it's an interest-free loan that is offered by Qatar Foundation to students. So you basically apply, you submit your financial documents, bank statements, and so on. They review and assess and then determine how much you should get. So the good thing about it is zero interest, not like what you would get in the US, for example, right? Which would take a very long time to pay off the interest. So it's zero interest, and there are flexible ways for repayment, right? Students also, depending on if you can attain at least a 3.8 GPA, you would be eligible for a scholarship, right? And the difference between a scholarship and a loan is that a loan you have to eventually pay it back, but a scholarship you don't have to. You don't have to pay it back. But students are only eligible for the scholarship after they've completed 2 semesters, at least 2 semesters, right? So that's once they're done with their first year, they're eligible for that. We also offer student employment opportunities that allow students to gain professional experiences while they are studying. So where can VCU Arts Qatar take you? Because I know that we live in a bit of a biased world where we think, oh, an art degree, and everybody wants to be a doctor, everybody's parents want them to be a lawyer and an engineer. But so it's a common question we receive, right? What can I do with an art and design degree? And the answer is quite a lot. Our graduates, they work across a wide range of industries, including, as you can see here, design, media, filmmaking, education, museums, curation, and entrepreneurship. We've also had students, for example, contribute to high-profile projects in Qatar and internationally. For example, we had some of our former students contribute to the World Cup, which happened in 2022. We've had some work for Qatar Airways, for example, right, and other international brands as well. So as you can see here, our alumni that work for leading organizations, right? Qatar Museums, Qatar Foundation, Qatar Airways, Al Jazeera, Doha Film Institute, the Ministry, and just many others, right? Some have also gone on to establish their own successful businesses and creative studios. So our graduates are really, really recognized internationally, and they have received prestigious awards for their work. Let me just point to some of them as an example. So here is one of our graduates, Buthaina Al-Muftah. She's one of our most successful alumni, and she's a great example of what is possible after graduation, right? She graduated from our graphic design program, and she has now become a multidisciplinary artist whose work has been exhibited internationally, as you can see, in Tokyo, in Paris, in Moscow. Many people know her as the artist who designed the official FIFA World Cup 2022 poster, right? So she worked on that, right? And her work has also been featured in major museums and international exhibitions. Apart from that, we also have Dimitri Yuri, and he is particularly interesting because, as you can see, he studied art history, right? However, he works as a screenwriter and film director. So the good thing about the degree here is it is interdisciplinary. So you are not boxed in a corner, right? The fact that you study art history does not mean you can venture into other fields, or whether you study graphic design, it doesn't limit you. It's an interdisciplinary education that exposes you to multiple things. Um, so you can see some of his clients include organizations such as he has worked for FIFA, he has worked for Qatar Airways, Netflix, TikTok, and Al Jazeera, right? So his success really demonstrates that our graduates can pursue careers across a wide range of creative industries, including film, media, and storytelling. Now, the question now is, we've discussed who we are and what we offer. Let's talk about the admission process, right? And I'll walk you through the requirements, the expectations and deadlines so that you understand exactly what you need to submit in order to be considered for admission. So for all applicants, we require an online application through Common App, high school transcript, proof of English proficiency. So that could be IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo with a minimum of 6 or 105 on Duolingo. If you're applying to our BFA programs, so our Bachelor of Fine Art programs, that's all our undergraduate program except art history, you must submit an art portfolio, right? But if you're applying to art history, you will instead complete a written essay rather than a portfolio. So what does the portfolio mean exactly? What does it require? It's a two-part sort of series, right? So there's a first part, which is the journey. You would essentially make a work or series of works, up to 5 pieces, that explains what your understanding of a journey is. It can be anything, right? So it's a creative challenge. You can do it as you wish, and then you write a 250-word explanation of what that means. And then there's the additional exercises, which is anything you've made in the past. So it can be photograph you've made in the past, Photoshop, paintings you've made, drawings, and so on. Now, this is where students panic a little bit because they think, oh, maybe I need to be perfect. We are not looking only for polished or professional looking work. We're not looking for perfection. We just want to see how curious you are. How do you understand the concept of experimentation? How do you problem solving? And the evidence that you're willing to explore ideas, right? So a strong portfolio usually includes a variety of media and also demonstrates both creativity and effort. So these are, of course, Common App and Slide Room. You can always look those up. So our deadline, our application opens in September. The priority deadline is November 15th, and January 15th is the deadline, the final deadline, right? And we only accept students once a year, so only for the fall semester, which begins in August of every year. Okay, so if you want to join our mailing list, please feel free. Actually, let me put, so yes, thank you for listening. I'm done with my presentation, but while you may ask questions, let me just pull up a QR code in case.
All right, Taslim, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly because from your presentation, I just realized that I've been saying Qatar wrong my
Yes.
entire life. So I
That
think for
happens a lot.
me, so I think for me, one of my main takeaways after your presentation is the proper pronunciation of Qatar. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for teaching me that. Thank you so much for a really great presentation. Really fascinating to hear about, the university city concept and more or less like a consortium where, students can interact with other American type universities around. So it gives them access to again more resources, a larger network,
Mhm.
more clubs, more things to do. So that was really interesting learning about that. I also was just curious, you said people can study abroad.
Yeah.
Is it for a term or can they do up to a year abroad?
So it's usually allowed for a term,
Okay.
but in certain circumstances, students may be able to do it for a year. But this is something that would have to be discussed with their professors and in conjunction with the academic advisor.
Okay. So, just a little, when you signed up for this session, I went and did my own. I was super excited to see your school sign up. So I did a little bit of my own research before your presentation. So I have some questions that maybe I'm not sure you touched on in this particular presentation. But
Sure.
could you talk a little bit about your honors program? How does that work? Can people apply before admission, or is it after they've enrolled, then they're sort of like, after a term or so, then they're eligible for the honors program?
Okay, so that's actually very interesting. That's something that I indeed did not touch upon. But our honors program is, it's designed to sort of get students who are to do some advanced undergraduate research, right? And it's GPA based.
Mm,
So because it's GPA based, they must have completed at least one academic semester for them to be eligible.
okay. So what
Yeah.
are some of the advantages for someone to be part of the honors program beyond just having access to maybe more advanced classes?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
No, I'm just wondering, like, apart from like maybe access to more advanced classes, like what are some of
Mhm.
the potential additional benefits of being part of the honors program? Do they have access to maybe additional resources for research, or they get funds to attend like conferences, or what are some of the perks to being in the honors program?
So thank you. Actually, one of the very interesting things about the honors program is that upon graduation, right, students get that sort of special caveat on their degrees that says that they graduated with an honors program, right? Which makes them more of an asset, more attractive to professors, to employers, sorry, and even graduate programs as well. And it's also sort of a lifetime achievement, right? That was something that was also always reoccur when, for example, you need a recommendation letter from any of your professors or from the university itself. It makes you sort of an ambassador of the university, and it's almost like you're connected with an umbilical cord with the university forever in that sense. And it's a highest academic distinction that is bestowed upon undergraduate students by VCU.
So I was wondering if you could maybe just explain to our audience a little bit about like your curriculum, because I feel like sometimes there's a misconception when people hear an art school and they think that it's just, painting and drawing and arts. So
Yeah.
looking at your curriculum and looking at how you emphasize like liberal arts and the science courses
Mhm.
and all
Mhm.
of that, like maybe you could touch a little bit about maybe the holistic nature of your program. Is it,
Yeah.
if I'm not that good at the arts, can I still
Mhm.
come to VCU Arts Qatar?
No, definitely. And it's a very good question. Thank you for raising that. So for our BFA programs, for graphic design, interior design, kinetic imaging, all students start from the foundation year, right? And in that foundation year, which is the first year, you go through sort of a rigorous, thorough process of being trained on how to develop your artistic skills. So you may not even be the best artist on earth when you come in, but that first year offers you that baseline and offers you that opportunity. In terms of classes, you're absolutely right. There's a misconception that if you come to an art school, you spend your 4 years taking just art drawing classes. We have really interesting, liberal arts and sciences classes from history to there was last year there was a professor who thought about I think aliens and space, right? So this is something that's incredibly exciting. You have a jewelry making class. Some of our alumni took those classes while they were students, and now they've gone on to establish their own jewelry making business. You have photography classes as well. You have, for those who are interested in science, you still have the opportunity to take classes like chemistry, physics, forensic science, to take all of those classes here, and also history, right? Art history, history of Europe, of Africa, of Latin America, and so on and so forth. So our curricula is diverse in that sense that you're able to take multiple electives. And honestly, even if you get bored at the end of the day, you don't want to take classes inside VCU Art Qatar, you can always, cross-register in other partner universities like Northwestern, Georgetown, who all offer different sort of specific concentrations in terms of their academic programs.
Right. So please, people, ask questions because if you leave me, I'm going to keep asking Taslim a million and one questions because I'm so fascinated. Could you talk a little bit about I think it's something called the first year foundation when I was like
Yes.
looking at your website. Could you talk a little bit
Mhm.
about like how that works?
Right. So that's what I was explaining a bit earlier, that all our BFA undergrad students, their first year is called the foundation program. So we have something called first year incubation program, which is unfortunately targeted at Qataris only, right? So those Qatari students, very few who want to study art, but their skills are just not quite there. They're able to get into that FYI program. So the FYI program simply adds an extra year to the 4 years, making it 5 years. But for the foundation program, this is the first year of our BFA. It's the foundation program. And the good thing about the foundation program, about how it's designed, is that let's say, for example, you come in with, the passion for graphic design. That first year, that foundation program opens your eyes to other majors. So you're able to, it's like you're studying kinetic imaging, graphic, interior design, and painting and brickmaking all together, right? So what that does is that maybe after a semester, you find, oh, you about robotics and animation, which is kinetic imaging. So students are able to now get into their major, choose their major in their second year. And that's what they do until they graduate.
So in addition to maybe signing up, you said the newsletter, that's the
Mhm.
QR code for those who are
Yes.
joining. Please use the QR code to join. What other recommendations or recommendations do you have for students who are interested in engaging further with the students at the university or even engaging further with the school?
No, I think they can always reach us through our contact on the website. We also have a WhatsApp number, which is on the website as well. So I know sometimes young students like to be more informal, right? You don't want to send emails, you want to send us WhatsApp. We're always available. You can always follow us on social media as well, which is a VCU Qatar. So that's on Instagram and on Facebook, and we'll be incredibly happy to answer all your questions.
Thank you so much. So, final call for questions, everyone, or if you are giving me the go ahead to continue to ask my questions, but I took some questions. Oh, we have Ahmed Sani who is raising up
Yes,
his hand. Do you want
yes.
to type your question, Ahmed Sani? Let me see if I can allow you to talk. Okay, Ahmed.
Hello. Yeah, good day. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Taslim. A very informative session. My name is Ahmed Sani. I have a
right.
background in architecture. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in architecture.
Hmm.
Um, so, uh, this is my first time of hearing about the school, and I
Hmm.
went straight to the graduate programs to see what you have to offer. And I saw an MFA in design research, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I wanted to know, and obviously, not obviously, but for me, I've been looking at opportunities in architecture and urban planning.
Hmm.
So the MFA in design research is quite new to me. So I wanted to know if you've had students with background in architecture transition into that MFA design research, and how has that transition been like? And I'd also like to learn more about the curriculum, as the EducationUSA advisor earlier asked.
Hmm. No, thank you very much for raising that question, Ahmed Sani. So one of the very interesting things about our master's program is that anybody, actually, from any kind of background can come into our program. We've had students who studied engineering come into our MFA program. We've had students who studied history come into our MFA program. We've had students study, other liberal arts and humanities programs coming into our MFA program. It allows for so much freedom that you're able to bring your own research to life. So anything you want to research on, you want to work on, even students who have background in fashion design, for example. So we've had always, actually, every year we have students from multiple backgrounds come into our MFA program because it's not designed to, like I said at the beginning, it's not designed to put you in a box, right? It's designed to allow you to express yourself intellectually and also be free in terms of how you're able to put out your idea. So you're absolutely welcome to register to apply. to our MFA program.
All right. I think those are all the questions. Thank you so much, Ahmed Sani, for your question and for allowing me not to be the only one talking. And, and thank you for those who put in their questions in the Q&A as well as the chat box. So I think we are right up to time. Thank you so much, Teslim, for a really great presentation, very informative. And thank you so much to everyone who joined us live and for those who are going to be watching after. Please remember to scan the QR code so that you can continue to get information about VCU at Qatar. I'm going to ask you to rate my pronunciation on a scale of 1 to 10. But thank you so much. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day till next time when we explore another American institution. Again, this has shown us that you can get a quality American education outside of the US. So thank you so much, Teslim.
And just one last thing to just say is that one of the problems Africans are facing right now is getting a visa to actually study in the US. So if you want an American degree, an American education, same quality, probably even a better quality, this is the place for you to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Don't forget to scan the QR code and engage with VCU Arts Qatar on social media and visit their website to see if they are a good fit for you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.